What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? MooseNukem here. This is a video I've been thinking of making for some time now. It's been great to see so many people in the streams recently, hanging out, discussing Anthem, and talking life in general. An awesome little community is forming, and I've been thoroughly enjoying the engagement with all of you. In a game that's been universally panned by critics and continues to be the butt of jokes, it would appear on the surface to be counterintuitive to have a YouTube channel based almost solely on the platform of the much maligned Anthem. In fact, as I'm sure many of you can connect with, at times it's easy to feel out of step with the majority sentiment if you do actually enjoy Anthem. Today is not about defending the game. Today isn't about pumping up my ego or giving it back to the haters. It's about exploring the why. It's about attempting to understand why there are a core group of players who love the game, why those players are so passionate about seeing it succeed, and what this means for us as a small community. The why isn't always simple, and in this case it will require some explanation. Of course, the reasons we like or have a preference for one thing and not another are entirely subjective and are as diverse as food choice, vehicle choice, even fashion sense, or holiday location preference, just to name a few. At the end of the day, we like what we like, and no one should impinge upon our individual experience of the world. A little background to set the scene on my experience of Anthem to begin. It is true that I was looking forward to the game's release, along with millions of others. It appealed to a sense of adventure and freedom, an attraction to all things science fiction, including cool mech suits, or exoskeletons if you like. Flying around in a beautiful open world and taking on hordes of monsters like a futuristic superhero. What more could I ask for as a gamer? Despite a single-player storyline that wasn't as long as I would have liked, the game certainly delivered on all of these things. In short, it hooked me in. However, this is not to say I wasn't aware of the many technical issues associated with the game. Like many others, I experienced the game crashes, the freezing, and the distinct scarcity of high-end loot. However, the criticism of it being overly grindy for me and many others falls flat, as grinding is simply part of the game experience that rewards sticking with it. I understand that not all people will feel this way, but in an age of instant gratification, it's good to know that many still feel that satisfaction that comes with the mastery and sticking in there with something. So with the scene being set, knowing the issues, I'd like to explore why I stayed, why I'll continue to stay and enjoy the game when so many others have dumped it quicker than a bad habit on New Year's Day. The technical aspects of the game, whilst a little buggy at times, are spectacular to say the least. The game, quite simply, is beautiful. The world is a mesh of strikingly realistic environments and high fantasy landscapes. The dungeons or strongholds range from moody, dark, and dank to post-apocalyptic fantasy-scapes. The animations, look, and feel of the javelin suits are something quite special. They control and respond in the way you'd hope. The smaller interceptor flitters around like a ninja. The hulking colossus thumps about, smashing and crashing its way throughout the world. Depending on your style, you'll find a javelin which makes you feel like a hero. Isn't that what we play for? I play games for the feeling that's a combination of fun, excitement, mastery, and ultimately escapism. Anthem certainly delivers on this escapism, and its delivery method is the beautiful visual world you'll inhabit. The weapons feel amazing, and did I mention? The explosions, impacts, and gunfire are visceral. So from the perspective of having to appreciate the core attraction to a video game, the visual experience, I'm sold. Perhaps I'm a visual person. On a side note, the sounds, including music score, environmental, and combat effects are impactful as well. There's something about the Anthem community, the way it's evolved, that incorporates notions of working together that translates into an air of positivity. The gameplay has a focus on stronger together, where players need to help each other beat the tougher scenarios. They must work together and are rewarded for doing this. This promotes an environment of very low toxicity, if any, within the player base that makes the experience rewarding. I don't think I've ever encountered a situation where a player has gone off on comms or where players have been unwilling to help. Put simply, the current community is awesome. This is a big aspect of gaming for me. Playing with angry 12-year-olds screaming down comms and abusing other players is not my idea of a good time. This simply doesn't happen in Anthem, or if it does, it must be very rare. While there still remain some minor technical issues attached to javelin building and how the stats work, the very technical process of building your javelin, grinding for items with the right stats to build something that performs, is addictive. The great thing about building your javelin and chasing those pieces to complete your build is that just when you think you're done, you always learn something new. There have been so many times I've had to flip my thinking by trying to something new and finding that it works and that there may be potential to build further on the idea. There are unlimited build variants, so many balances to strike between damage outputs, survivability, flight time, and health back to group functions. It requires a lot of thought and mastery to truly become an adept javelin builder. There's so much failure along the journey, but there is glory in the struggle, and a whole lot of satisfaction when you get it right. There are perhaps a few games out there that have Oliver Stone write the storyline and that are technically flawless at release. However, there are few, if any, that combine all the aspects of what I enjoy into one game. I can see the potential, I'm sure like other core players, in what Anthem will become. Though there is a point that could be made about waiting for 2.0. I personally don't believe there will be a 2.0, I believe there will be a massive update that's going to greatly change the game for the better, but we're going to wait to jump back in. But then I wouldn't be spending my free time playing with the people I like, learning the mastery of each javelin, and experiencing the game core mechanic of the grind for legendary loot. I'd be playing a first-person shooter with screaming preteens in an overly competitive, toxic environment. I realize that competitive gaming is where it's at for many gamers, but for me, so much of life is about competing and not necessarily working together. I think millions of gamers are drawn to collaboration when escaping the day-to-day grind, as demonstrated on the World of Warcraft PvE servers, where the pinnacle is a team of players working together to beat a raid, as one example. Again, it's what makes you, the player, tick, and not what others like or don't like, that's important. The real why here, why do I like Anthem over other games, cannot be summed up in one sentence. I think if I had to try to express it as succinctly as possible, it comes down to this. It's fun. It's a fun game, and it's a fun way of spending my free time. This is made better by the fact that the other people are doing the same thing. Well, they're an awesome bunch. Finally, I want to thank you all for being a part of this channel and continuing to support me. I have great hopes for the future of Anthem, but for now, I'll continue to play and enjoy the Icetad event. I'd really like to hear what your thoughts are on what keeps you playing Anthem and what you like about the community, the mechanics, the visuals, the sounds. Most of all, what would you like to see for the future of Anthem? As always, guys, my name is MooseNukem. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys on the next one.